Welcome back to the Momentum Sports Podcast. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like button and hitting that subscribe button. Comment down below your thoughts. Derek and I love talking about college sports, especially college football and college basketball. We're excited to get on to this next topic that you came here for. So let's get it. Well, we have finally made it to the college football playoff national championship game. Derek, I tried to tell you it would be Ohio State and Notre Dame. Now, I don't know if I'm still taking Notre Dame. Before this, I really wanted to take Notre Dame. I really will be rooting for Notre Dame. I really like their coach. I loved what he had to say after the game. He's a real stand-up guy. He's a player's coach, and I really hope that he succeeds. I think it's also really cool that Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to go and do bigger and better things at LSU, where he could win a national championship, or so he said.
That's funny.
I know. So it would be really, really cool if Notre Dame was able to win the whole thing and beat in Ohio State. Notre Dame has been grinding. They've had to play and beat Georgia. They played and they beat Penn State, and they had some injuries up front. Getting through them, we'll see. Ohio State looks good. Ohio State looks really good, and if Ohio State plays their A game, if they can get their wide receiver back in the game, their leading wide receiver, whose name just slipped me at the moment, you probably know who I'm talking about. What was his name?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
God dang it. Um,
I don't understand who you're talking about. You're talking to Ohio State. Ohio
yeah.
State screwballs. No, I'm joking.
No.
No, Ohio State, man, they
Jeremiah
deserve that
Smith.
win.
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah,
There we go. Uh,
yeah,
Jeremiah Smith, if they can get him involved again, Notre Dame's going to have some
yeah.
trouble. But man, if Ohio State actually they they didn't really play that well against Texas. They
Their
didn't really.
defense.
Their defense did, but Texas doesn't have a great offense. Um, I mean, it's a good offense, but it's not like one that you know. I don't know. I've just never really considered, and Texas hasn't really played that good of defensive teams. So we haven't really gotten to see what Texas's offense looks like against a legit defense. And I will say this too, is the score's misleading. Ohio State beating Texas. It really could have been a tie game there at the end, and Texas could have taken the momentum and possibly even won the game. I really do think that Texas really could have captured the momentum there if they had scored on the goal line and just ran the damn ball. Run the ball. Why are you
Hmm.
throwing it at the goal line? Why are you running outside on the goal line? Anyway, bad play calling in my opinion. Uh, I don't know. It reminded me of the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots that one year whenever it was so obvious that you need to hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch and keep punching it. Don't get, all uh, funny with it and try to do these crazy passing plays whenever you're this close. Run it 4 times. And if they stop you 4 times running the ball with Texas' big offensive linemen and a tired defensive line in Ohio State, props to Ohio State for stopping them. But you're like 99% chance with Texas's offensive line and the fatigue of the defensive line at Ohio State to score that in. And Texas missed a big opportunity here. And this is, again, why I just think that Ohio State didn't really have their best game. And if they play like that they did against Texas, I do think Notre Dame has a chance to win this thing. But if they get Jeremiah Smith back involved in the offense, Ohio State's going to be pretty tough to stop. What say
Hmm.
you, Derek?
So first of all, let's take the national title game. I have Ohio State winning this whole thing because Ohio State is really damn good. Notre Dame doesn't have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, and Notre Dame has no chance. You know, they the congrats to Notre Dame making it all the way, but they don't have a chance. Ohio State will win this convincingly. And you have a lot of nerve to say that Ohio State didn't play their best game. They're playing one of the best defense in the country. Of course, they're going to have problems. You know, they shut down their main receiver, who's supposed to be the best, and get double team and triple team catches. Well, he couldn't do that, and when the time they tried to, he they the quarterback threw an interception when they tried to throw it because they had him contained, and that's a great
And
defense right
and
there. If
you don't think Notre Dame's defense is as good as Texas?
Nope, nope, not a chance. Not a chance
Really?
in hell is it. No, it isn't. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Hmm.
With that Texas game, that last play, that was not Quinn Ewers' fault. That was a full blown miss blocked by the
It
right
was.
tackle. Oh my
It was.
gosh, he didn't put a hand on him. Just put one hand on him, and he would have had that pass run. You just one little notch to just push him just a little bit, and he would have had that pass. The guy opened up, and he would have had that pass, but did it. His roommate fumbled the ball, recovered, and touchdown. That's how the game was. Uh, Texas, their next game is Ohio State at Ohio State. And let's go. Let's talk about that Notre Dame Penn State game. Congratulations, Notre Dame, for winning that Penn State game. You fought hard. You showed grit and everything. If you show determination like that, yeah, maybe you'll win. But I really don't think it's going to be like that because they do
Yeah.
have a strong receiving core and a
It's
strong
going to be
defensive
tough.
core. It's going to
Yeah.
be really hard.
Yeah,
But here's
it
the
is.
thing. Here's the thing. I want everybody to know before we finish this one off. Guess who is the number one team in the way too early top 25?
Oh
This
my god.
Texas. Hoko. Texas. Guess who's number two in the way too early? Ohio State. And guess who plays in week one of next year? Texas, Ohio State. They did that on purpose so they can have a 1 versus 2 in week one. Oh, it's going to be a great game, great
Yeah.
rematch. I can't
It
wait
is
for
going to be
that
really
game.
cool and I do think that Texas is going to get that one. My prediction was Ohio State wins the playoff game, Texas wins the rematch. Sarkisian in those early games, those early big matchups, he comes prepared, he comes ready to go and outside of Georgia, Sark has been really good at rematches. So he remembers and he's going to come at him. And I think that Texas will take that one next year. But until then, your prediction, what would the keys be for Notre Dame winning? I think you and I both agree that it's definitely favoring Ohio State. Like I think
Well,
that I think Ohio State, that more situations lead to them winning than Notre Dame. What is a situation that Notre Dame is going to win this thing? Like, what has to happen?
penalties. But this is the difference is they need to have less penalties in Ohio State and
Mm,
let Ohio State screw them over because that's what Ohio State did against Texas. But the only reason Ohio State had penalties because they were getting beat by the defense and they had to hold. They had to
yeah,
things happen and it didn't work out for them. So, but that happens with Notre Dame. I can see
yeah,
Notre Dame being in this, but it's all about the penalties and the turnover battle.
yeah. One of the things that concerns me about Notre Dame is their scoring. Indiana, they only put up 27. Um, Now it did look like a blowout. They dominated Indiana at one point. It was 27-10, I think, and then they beat Georgia 23-10, and then Penn State they beat 27-10 or 27-24. Um, they they don't score a lot of points, and if Ohio State jumps on them early, I Penn or Notre Dame is in trouble because
Mm-hmm.
that Ohio State defense is going to hold them to probably below 20 points. I think the only way that Notre Dame wins this is if it's a low scoring game. If Ohio State gets much more than 20, if Ohio State scores in 30 or more, they're winning. You have to hold Ohio State below 20 points, I think, to win this thing. You might be able to win if they score like 24, but that Ohio State defense is going to get you. I just don't think that they're going to score over 20 or much over 20. And the only way, you win this thing is you keep it Ohio State at 10, you keep them at 17. And that is a tall task, man. That's hard to do. What do you think of that take, Derek? Do you think that the main goal needs to be keeping Ohio State, below a certain amount, or what do you
No,
what do
oh
you
yeah,
think?
I totally agree. Ohio State has to be a below a certain amount, and I can't tell you what number that is. It could be
Mm.
25, it could be 20. I'm not sure. It all depends how well Notre Dame does
Do you think Notre
against
Dame could get to
Ohio
the?
State.
Do you think they could get to 30, Notre Dame,
It's
against Ohio
possible.
State's defense?
It's possible they can. It just depends.
Yeah,
You know,
overtime, I
you,
guess. You know,
you have a run threat quarterback, it'll help. You
yeah,
know, that could help. Uh, you can change things up that way. You could because then they're gonna have to keep somebody back, and then you got somebody open in the back.
yeah,
So, and that's what hurt the Notre Dame here and there is they stacked the box. When they stacked the box, Texas threw over them. When they did, they threw under, and mostly they were stacking the box because of the run.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, we'll just have to see what happens. I'm excited. I really hope that this is a close game. The spread is, I don't know if it's still 9.5. It opened at 9.5. Let me see where it is at as we are recording this. Um, I just lost it. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like that it's at 8 points now. So it has dropped a little bit. Again, it opened at 9.5 points, and now it is Ohio State by 8. So it'll be interesting. Again, for me, it's Notre Dame has to hold them right around that 20-point margin. And if you can do that, you have a shot at winning. Not guaranteed, but I just don't think Ohio State's defense is going to let Notre Dame score much more than 20, if that. So you've got to keep Ohio State under that amount as well. But we will see. Again, I hope that this is a close game and not a blowout, because Ohio State, they can blow out Notre Dame here, and it can get ugly really quick. But we will see you guys in the reaction video to that game. And until then, enjoy the game and horns down. See y'all. All right, so we have another SEC matchup reaction. We've got Kentucky over A&M. Kentucky wins 81-69 over the Aggies without Wade Taylor for A&M. He is, yeah, he's been out for a couple games now. And the beginning of this game, the line was at, looks like it opened at 6.5 Kentucky, and it closed at 7.5 Kentucky. This game kind of went about how you expected. A&M was going to fight, and they did take a decent lead at one point. They were up 18-12. But from there, Kentucky, you know, uh, took the lead again, and then they kind of went back and forth for a little bit until about halftime. And then in the second half, Kentucky led the whole entire half, and pretty much dominated. That's kind of been the story, is Kentucky has much stronger second halves than first halves. And again, with A&M missing Wade Taylor, it's going to be a little bit it's going to be tougher for A&M to win in this type of environment. Rupp was, you know, crazy, loud, energized, ready to go, and A&M just they didn't have the horses to keep up. Derek, what were your thoughts on this game?
Well, to me, it looked like Texas A&M. was doing pretty good, keeping close. But we all know Kentucky's second half team, and guess what happened in the second half? Kentucky exploded. Texas A&M relaxed. Typical Aggies, and A&M lost. You know what the key contributions to that was? Let me see here. I'm looking at it right now. Field goal percentage. Guess who won? And that UK,
Yep.
Kentucky. Yeah, I guess who won the 3-point percentage? Kentucky. Guess who won the turnover? 17 Kentucky. Guess who won the rebounds? Kentucky. You know what that equals to? Success. And I'm pretty
Yep.
sure that came a lot from the second half. And you know what? It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And
Yep.
that's how you become a champion. And Kentucky is finally finding their foothold. And they're going to
Maybe.
be a champion. They're going to
No.
go to the Final Four. It will happen.
Easy now,
They're
Derek.
just finding their footing and they found it. I don't care what this guy has to say over here to my over here,
Hey,
but I
easy
can tell
now.
you this. Kentucky is winning the whole thing. It happens. Who gets
Hmm.
hot at the right time, and that will be Kentucky. That is my take right there, Ross.
um, mm, I don't know. Kentucky did play pretty good defense in this one. They did hold A&M down from their average. It looks like I actually don't have A&M scoring average
Yeah,
on
but you know
here.
it tells you this. It's not about their scoring average. It's not about who they're who's hurt. You know, it's about what you can do when you're in this position. Who's going to fight?
Yeah, I will say this is one thing that does is a little bit of a red flag with Kentucky is whenever they play hard-nosed defensive teams, and A&M is one of those, they struggle. So at home, that's one thing. I would like to see Kentucky go to A&M and win, to really solidify that, hey, these guys can compete with defensive competitive teams, because when Kentucky's offense gets shut down, their whole team gets shut down. Everything gets shut down. They are very reliant on their offense. Their
Mm-hmm.
three losses are to unranked opponents. Losing to Clemson by 4 because Clemson was able to shut down their offense and only allow them 64 or 66 points. Ohio State only allowed them 65 points. In Georgia, 69. So Kentucky in all three of their losses could not get to 70 points. And when they can't get to 70 points, it's not good because they allowed the other team to get more than 70 points. Um, as you can see, A&M got 69 points, so very close to that 70 mark. So it looks like the formula here is hold Kentucky under 70 points, and you've got a good shot of winning, because, yeah, in most of these games, they are not holding their opponents even. Well, they'd held Colgate to 67. Gonzaga put up 89. Uh, so anyway, we'll see what happens, but that is something for me that catches my eye, and just to keep an eye out on Kentucky whenever it comes to that 70-point field is if they get held to 70 points, are they winning or losing? So, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens, and let's see who's their next matchup. They've probably got a big one. So they're playing Bama. They are hosting Bama next on the 18th. That will be interesting. Bama's coming off of a loss at home to Ole Miss, which we also did a video on. So you guys should definitely check out that reaction as well. But that will
Mm-hmm.
be
High
really
tide.
interesting. Yes, yes, yes. Derek gave Alabama hell in the last video. So um, really excited to see these upcoming matchups, upcoming games, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you got this far, please consider hitting that like button and commenting down below with your thoughts. We'll see you guys in the next video.